I'm Molly Kubo. Welcome back to Beyond the Wad. I'm here with Matt Van Schoik, affiliate owner and CrossFit Level 3 trainer. We're just throwing that in there. So what are we talking about today, Matt?
Okay, so the other day I was meeting with a client who's been a member of the gym for a long time, kind of off and on. But this person was struggling with, and I'm not quite sure how to say this, so help me out here. I know you know what I'm trying to get to. This person was struggling with a little bit of like self-comparison and like this need to like perfectionism, almost like everything. If I can't,
Feeling like everything has to be perfect, and if not, then we start spiraling.
yeah, like if I can't do everything perfectly, then I'm just not going to do any of it.
Yeah.
But I don't think that was completely the
Right.
thing, but I think that's part of it.
Yeah, that's definitely a big piece of the mentality that I think goes into.
Yeah, and I don't know.
And when we're talking about I won't do anything, we're talking what? Exercise, nutrition?
Yeah, so this person is a gym member, and they're doing some nutrition coaching, which is really more mindset type coaching than it is nutrition coaching. But so this is a common issue that we see at the gym, where it's like, you had a really good analogy for this, but like if I wake up in the morning and I wake up and I'm having a bad day and I eat 3 donuts for breakfast. Well, okay, by the time lunchtime rolls around, you're like, well, I already had 3 donuts. So I might as well have these 2 slices of pizza.
Right.
And then then you go and get a big old iced tea from the gas station that's got 4,000 calories in a bottle. And then by the time you get, to the end of your day, you're like, well, I've already had pizza and tea.
It's just going to be one of those cheat days.
Yeah. And so you just kind of give up. And
then you feel like garbage, so you don't work out.
yeah, so you don't work out. Yeah, I don't feel good, so I'm not going to work out today. And then the next day you wake up and it's kind of like, well, yesterday was a bad day, so what's the point today?
Or we get in that cycle of, well, it's the middle of the week's almost over. Like we'll start fresh on Monday.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a lot of that going on, but then there's also like, so maybe this is 2 different extremes that we're just kind of figuring out how we're going to have this conversation as we're having the conversation. So maybe there are these 2 extremes where it's like this person who is really kind of fallen off because they keep falling off. So they're creating the habit of, I don't want to say failure, but like the habit of falling off or the habit of not paying attention. So they just kind of quit paying attention. Because you build those habits, right? So
it no longer becomes a one-time thing. Now it's a lifestyle.
Yeah. And then on the other side of that, there's this person who has all of these different things that they're trying to do in life, and they're trying to be like so perfect at each one of them, and everything falls apart when they can't hold that standard that they have, or that expectation that they have for themselves. So maybe we're parenting, so we've got kids at home. We're working a full-time job where we're trying to get a promotion. We're coming to the gym and trying to improve our health and fitness and all of our lifts and our Metcon times. And we're going to school for our master's or for our doctorate, and we're trying to get straight A's. What else could you add to that?
I mean, and then working a full-time job. Like each of those is a full-time job.
Yeah. Yeah. And then so you're trying to do and be so perfect at each one of those things, and the expectation is that you will be perfect and that nothing can possibly fall off, and that you're going to be the perfect mom or dad, or the perfect husband or wife, and the perfect student and the perfect employee. And that's a lot of pressure and stress.
It's a lot of pressure, and it's just not possible.
Yeah. So
there's not enough hours in the day, and we are human.
Yeah. So I one of the things a tool that I use for that person who is kind of in that comparison, I don't know how to describe that person. I don't know how do I put them into a bubble?
Yeah, self-comparison, I think, is a good way of explaining it because you're constantly comparing. Sometimes it's not even like comparing yourself to other people, right? I'm not upset because I don't look like Tia Toomey, I'm not upset because I don't have my PhD like so and so, but I'm upset because at one point I was in better shape than I am
Mhm.
right now.
Yep.
Or I'm upset because I know, you know, uh, I got straight A's last semester and this semester I've got a C. So I think it is that comparing to ourselves, but we're only comparing the best
Yeah.
of ourselves.
Yeah, yeah. And man, I feel that like so deeply being 40 now, 41. Like I remember when I first started CrossFit at 20, I want to say I was like 26 or 27, somewhere in there.
Uh-huh.
And boy, was I fit. I was so fit. I'm not that fit anymore.
See, I set the bar low, so I can only go up.
So you can, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but when I think about that person, um, I used to be a member of this group called the Tinker Group. So way back when I opened the gym, I knew how to coach. I knew how to help people improve their squat and their deadlift and improve their conditioning times. But what I didn't know was how to run a business. Like that was like a whole nother animal. So I joined this mentoring group called Two Brain Business, and I worked with them for a long time, and they kind of had these different levels of membership. Like as the business improved, you could like level up, which was a cool way to kind of gamify improving your business. And I made it to this point where I was in this group called the Tinker Group, and it was a bunch of high level gym owners. And I'd had like the biggest imposter syndrome in the world. Like I remember sitting at the table the very first time I went to a meeting in New York City, and I'm in this little tiny hotel room with all of these like crazy, like well-known gym owners sitting around me. I'm like, wow, I do not belong at this table. I'm like from this little bitty tiny gym in the middle of nowhere, Podunk, Illinois. Anyway, that's besides the point. But in this group, what we would do is these 90-day sprints. So we would look at these 5 different parts of your life. So we would look at I'm going to blow this too. We would look at your faith, your family, your fitness, your finances, and your freedom. So we would look at those 5 F's. I want to say maybe there was a 6th, and it might have been future.
Mm.
I think it might have been the 6 F's, not just the 5. Anyway, the point is that we would look at all of these different parts of our life. We would go, okay, over the next 90 days, what is the thing that we want to improve on? And then what do we need to do in each of the other areas to maintain? Because the reality is that it's really, really difficult to improve on every single part of your life at the same time. I think of it like visually, like, when you do an in-body scan and you have like the I, the C, and the D,
Mhm.
like that's the thing that I think about when I imagine what faith, family, fitness,
One of
freedom.
these is gonna move forward, it's
Yeah.
gonna move this one back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So like there's this constant like give and take
Mhm.
that's going on. And I'm fine with playing the comparison game. It's cool. But if we're going to play that comparison game, then we have to look at all of the parts of your
Like,
life.
if we're gonna play it, we're gonna play it.
Yeah, we're going to look at every single part of your life, and we're going to go, okay, what is improving versus what is not, right? So we were talking about your fitness over time, right? So when I think about, if I look at the last, let's just call it 15 years of my life, my health and fitness has kind of done one of these numbers where it's gone up and down over time. And I would say right now at 41, I feel really good, but in comparison to the last 15 years, I'm probably on the downside of this, right? So my fitness has fallen back just a little bit. But when I look at all of the other parts of my life, my relationships have improved like a billion times over in the last 15 years. Our finances have improved over the last 15 years. My faith has taken this dramatic leap. Like all of the other parts of my life are moving forward, where maybe this one is starting to fall back. And when I think of it that way, I'm like, okay, like
We're doing fine.
I'm maintaining.
Yeah.
My fitness is maintaining. Like I feel confident like taking my shirt off at the beach. You know what I mean? Like I'm probably not going to get into like a flexing contest with anyone, Like I'm not gonna jump in. I'm not gonna jump on the white T-shirt contest at spring break, but I
Right.
feel pretty confident.
Right. Yeah. And I think it's important to note too that in some seasons of life, you have different priorities, right? Like fitness may not always be the number one priority, and that's okay.
Yeah. So I mean, there was a long time, even running the gym, where fitness wasn't my priority.
Mhm.
It was the improvement of the business
Mhm.
that was the priority, and or really just learning how to run a business,
Mhm.
which is what I was doing with the Two Brain group. And when I made that shift into focusing on the business, like the business got way better.
Mhm.
There were other things that fell off
Mhm.
or that I was just trying to maintain in, but I mean, it is what it is. And I think that learning to be comfortable
Mhm.
in allowing some things to just kind of like maintain.
Mhm.
I don't know, like, what do you call that? Cruise control a little bit?
Coasting, maybe?
Yeah. I mean,
Coasting makes it sound like we're not
uh,
putting effort towards it, though. And like you can still put effort towards it
yeah,
and maybe just not see these huge gains,
yeah,
or the gains are just different. Like being able to maintain, like we think about it in weight loss, right?
yeah,
Like maintaining is not a bad thing. And depending on where you are in the journey, like
sure.
if you're trying to lose weight, well, maintaining is better than gaining,
Yeah,
right? Or, whatever that looks like. But I think about like a marathoner, for example, like you're going to have some give and take. If you want to be really, really good and run the Boston Marathon, you're going to not put on as much muscle, or you're
yeah,
going to lose some of that. Your
yeah,
deadlift's going to go
yeah. I
down.
was gonna say, like, your back squat or your deadlift is probably gonna
Right.
fall off.
Right. And like that's okay. It's just what are you
Yeah.
prioritizing?
So that's why goals then become so important in having a good, clear understanding of what the goal is. And that
Being smart about your goals, having a smart goals. So specific, measurable, attainable, relative, and time bound. Whew.
man, I'm so glad
I was worried I wasn't going to be able to do that. I
stuff.
kind of had a momentary panic on the R.
I won't be able to do. I would never be able to do that. So okay, let's talk about that because I think that all of that is really important to whatever you just said, the SMART goals. Um, but I think the more important thing is understanding a deeper like why
Oh,
for your
100%.
goal.
Yeah.
That's kind of the thing that keeps you glued to it.
Yep.
So, like, a lot of people will come into the gym and they'll say, I want to lose weight. Like, what was your goal when you walked in?
When I walked in, my goal was to lose weight.
Yeah. So, okay, how much weight were you looking to lose when you walked into the gym?
Truthfully, I don't know that I had a set goal in mind. I just knew I wanted to feel a little better, and I
Yeah.
knew I needed to move.
Yeah. Did you have like a pair of pants at home that you were like, man, I want to be able to fit into these again? And you like, you know what I mean? Like you try to
It
button
was
them up
more just
and it's like,
I want to look in the mirror and not like
yeah,
hate what I saw.
yeah. Okay. So, but that's getting closer
Yeah.
to what we're after
Oh
then,
yeah.
right? Like, okay, I want to lose weight. That's a great goal,
Hmm.
but why?
Right. It's not specific. It's not.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the why behind it was so I had more energy for my daughter.
Yeah.
Like now we're getting to that was the real pull.
Well, I think even at that, like okay, I hear you
Hmm.
and I believe you. I'm not saying I don't believe that goal, but which one of those things is a bigger driver? Is it I want to have more energy for my daughter, or is it I don't want to hate the person that I see when I look in
Oh, it
the
was
mirror?
I don't want to hate the person that I see when I look in the mirror.
Yeah, I think it's easy to put it on our kids
Mm-hmm.
and be like, "Oh, well, I want to," like I always say, like,
Because it sounds noble.
yeah, like I want to be a cool grandpa.
Hmm.
Like that's one of my goals. I want to be able, like, when my grandkids come over, like I want to be able to take those boys out in the dirt and like roll them around and wear them out. Like I want them to leave my house exhausted. Not I don't want to like sugar them up and give them back to mom and dad. I want them to leave my house exhausted and be like,
Yeah.
dude, what is grandpa on?
That that's that's such a long ways away though.
Yeah.
And so I think maybe what you're getting to is like, yeah, those goals are great. They're noble. But part of a smart goal is being time bound.
Yeah.
And it has to be something that you start to see soon because that's what sparks that motivation, and that's
Yeah.
what keeps the ball rolling.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're like getting some wins, but like I think really what I'm talking about, and yes, you're right. I agree with that too. But I think what I'm really talking about is like getting to the meat of it. Like I
Mhm.
want some stuff that's going to make you emotional because I think that that is what helps you stick with these target goals, these things that you're trying to achieve. And understanding, like having that really, really deep understanding of this is what I want and this is why I want it emotionally
Mhm.
will keep you on track over a long period of time. Because if you come in and you're like, hey, I want to lose weight, like, cool. How much weight do we want to lose? I want to lose 50 pounds. Okay, well, what happens when you hit the 50-pound weight loss? Mission accomplished.
Then what?
Then what? Yeah, like then what? Then what do you do?
Yeah.
Which is why I think that there's the emotional part of goal setting is really important. I don't know. We've never talked about this before.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, in sales, we say, like, if they're not feeling anything, they're not buying anything. It's the same thing. Like, if we don't have an emotion towards something, we're not gonna put the time and effort towards
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it like from an emotional standpoint, like when I think about being an awesome grandpa, it really stems from my traumatic childhood where like I don't remember my grandparents.
Mhm.
Like I think I do. So my grandparents are from Ohio, right?
Mhm.
Go Buckeyes. Um, and I think they all passed by the time that I was 7, maybe 8 years old. I had lost all of my grandparents,
Mhm.
and I didn't get to see them very often. And when I did, like all I remember is my grandpa was like really out of shape. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
my so that would be my dad's dad. My mom's mom was very similar. My dad's mom, grandma, and my mom's dad, if you're tracking with me, were they weren't
Uh-huh.
like falling apart, but
Right.
they weren't taking care of
They
their
weren't
health
able to,
either,
yeah.
right? So I remember like going to their house and just everyone just always sitting around.
Mhm.
And as you know, a 5, 6 year old
Yeah.
boy,
That's not very fun.
like, I don't wanna like, I don't want to go to grandma's
Yeah.
house. I don't want to go to grandpa's house
Yeah.
because I'm not like, it's not fun. So that's what I think about, like, that emotion
Mhm.
when my grandkids, like, I want them to come over to my house.
Mhm.
Like, I want my kids to wanna hang out with me too,
Mhm.
but that's just, like, this childhood memory that I have where I'm like, "Man, I really want to be a cool grandpa. I want to be the kind of, grandparent that's crazy involved in my kids' lives." A lot like Lisa is for my kids right now. Like she's around for everything. Like my kids have great memories,
Mhm.
you know, of her and Lindsay's dad as well. That's kind of what I want.
Yeah.
And that is the thing that keeps me going over time. And that is also the thing that like I can kind of look at when I look at like faith, family, fitness,
Mhm.
future, freedom, fun, functional. I don't even remember what they all
All
were
the
now.
Fs.
All the F's. When I look at those, like that's kind of the thing that I'm comparing everything against is like, am I moving the needle
Needle
more
for
toward
this overall
that thing?
this
Yeah.
overarching goal. Yeah. Yeah. And I also think there's a difference. This is a little sidetracked, but there's a difference between goals and commitments. So this is something I talk to a lot of my clients about too, is we've got to determine the things that we're talking about. Are they goals or are they commitments?
Mm.
And I think we treat both a little differently. So goals don't necessarily require that we finish them, right? It's the finish line, but you may or may not actually pass through it and you can still do the thing. Goals, if somebody came and patted you on the back and said, "Hey, you got really close to your goal, didn't quite hit it, but you got really close," most people are going to say, "Oh, that's all right. You'll hit it next time."
Yeah.
Whereas commitment just has a different connotation. If somebody comes up to you and says, "Man, you failed that commitment," like totally different, right? When we get married, when we're in front of that pastor, priest, or judge or whoever, like they don't say, "Hey, do you have a goal
Mhm.
to love this person?" Because if it's a goal, like
You can get close.
you can get close, but,
Yeah.
it's this goal, and man, I think about that a lot, like, if they had said, "Do you have a goal of loving this person?" Like, we probably still wouldn't be together,
Yeah.
right? But it's a commitment, and so the definition of being committed is doing what you said you were gonna do, even when the mood you said it in has passed. We've talked about that a little bit
Mhm.
before.
Mhm.
So, are these things that you're wanting for yourself, are they goals, which there's a time and a place for, or are there commitments, or what are the commitments there? And I think too, the goal may be the I wanna roll around with my grandkids. what are the commitments that we have to do and commit to get to that point?
Wow. I feel like super called out right now because I've never thought about it that
Yeah.
way. I mean, that's woo.
You're watching this live, folks.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I'm honestly gonna have to take some time and really put some thought into that. I never had considered that goal of mine to be a cool grandpa
Mhm.
or to be grandpa cool. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? A commitment and think about the things that I'm really committing myself to make that happen.
Mhm.
Um, but I think as I'm processing this live, um, for me, it would be I need to come to the gym
Mhm.
and maintain a level of fitness. Like it is when I'm thinking that far out,
Mhm.
the day to day honestly isn't going to matter so much.
Mhm.
The thing that matters about the day to day is the consistency of showing up,
Yes.
right? Because over time, that makes a big difference.
Yeah. Small hinges move open big doors, right?
Yeah. So, when I'm thinking
Life for
about,
your wife.
oh boy, when I'm thinking about like from an injury standpoint and some of the stuff that I'm going through right now, how important is it for me to get back to being able to do a snatch if
Mhm.
my long-term commitment is to be grandpa cool?
Mhm.
So I don't know how important that actually is to be
Mhm.
able to do that one particular movement
Mhm.
or even to do that at a crazy heavy load. But the thing that is important about that particular movement for me is the explosive hips, like the function of that
Mhm.
movement. That's the thing that keeps me young, and that's what I'm looking for over time.
Yeah.
So when I'm looking at like inside of the gym, man, this is getting down nitty gritty.
Mhm.
When I'm looking inside of the gym at these movements that maybe I really struggle with or don't like, or make me a little bit nervous, if I can think about the function of that movement and if I consistently do that, commit to that function over time
Mhm.
and executing on that thing and getting better at that movement pattern, that is going to help me be grandpa
Right.
cool down the road.
Yeah. Well, because it's moving that you're creating more of a buffer,
Yeah.
right, with that
Yeah.
sickness, wellness, fitness, and then the neurological advantages of, like, doing a technical movement
Mhm.
like double unders or a snatch.
Mhm.
That it literally does keep
Yeah.
you young.
Yeah. So from a day-to-day standpoint, maybe not such a big deal that I come in and try to one rep max or
Mhm.
go as hard as I possibly can inside of the workout. The thing that matters day to day is, am I consistently doing the thing?
Mhm.
Right? Am I consistently doing the thing? Um,
So pulling this back to that client that you were talking
yeah.
about, like what does this look like in different seasons of life? Because there's going to be some seasons of life where moving towards being cool
Yeah.
grandpa means working on your relationship with your kids,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. 100%.
Because it doesn't matter how
This is awesome.
because it doesn't matter how fit you are. Like if your kids don't like you, they're not going to bring their grandkid or their kids around you anyway. So, we've got to understand and know that different seasons are going to put a focus on
Yeah.
different things.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, right now I'm going through a season. I'm just going to talk about myself. That we're having like a mat therapy session here
Yes,
today.
that works.
Yeah. I mean, right now I'm going through this period of life where like my faith is becoming really, really important to me. But like, I guess the long term thing that I'm looking at is this is something that I'm working toward, am doing is root is rooted.
No try, you're doing it.
Yeah, Yoda says,
Uh-huh.
"Do or do not, there is no try."
There is no try.
Right? So, I'm rooting myself in this
Uh-huh.
because I know that I need a heart change, and I think that heart change is the thing that is helping me get closer to my kids.
Mhm.
But not just that, it's giving me some direction, and here's the path that we need to be walking, which again is helping us grow closer and stay rooted in Christ.
Mhm.
Um, and that's the big commitment right now. So, when it comes to working on my heart and my spirit versus making sure that I'm getting into the gym, right now I'm going to prioritize that time in the Bible.
Mhm.
That time, like l- spending time committing. Like if I'm like one thing or the other, you know, that's the thing that I'm going to prioritize right now. Making sure that I'm just trying to be consistent in my exercise and in the gym. Now, that's not been an issue. A lot of times I'll kind of combine those two
Mhm.
things actually. Um, but I think that's if I was gonna make the choice, that's where I would go right now.
Is there an area of your life that you wish you could put more towards right now that you're in a season that it's just not doable?
Well, when I think of the F's that
Mhm.
we talked about earlier, um, so we have faith, fitness, family,
Mhm.
um, future, freedom, and finances. I think I really feel like in focusing on my faith
Mhm.
right now,
Everything else is
everything else is kind of following behind that.
funny how that works.
Yeah. So I don't know. I,
I was gonna say, if you don't have an example, I have one.
yeah. I mean, like for me personally, I think that focus on that one
Mhm.
place is kind of pulling everything else
Yeah.
along in the direction that I want it to
Yeah,
go.
for sure.
That doesn't mean that everything is like making these drastic
Right.
improvements, but the direction that
Yeah.
all of those things are going is changing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
So I was thinking about like different seasons of life. And I know for me personally, like the season of life that I'm in right now, I've been able to put more of an emphasis on fitness. Whereas, and I mean, like when I say this season right now, I'm talking about like just within the last, I don't know, 2 months maybe. I've been able to come to the gym more consistently just because of how schedules are working out. Piper's in preschool full time now. I've been able to come in and do more of the strength training outside of class times. That was something that I didn't necessarily have the time or I wasn't making the time for
Mm,
because there were other things that were more important at the time. Versus like right now, finances. That's probably one of mine when I think of my F's, faith, family, fitness, and finances, because that's actually at work. We talk about those in our team meetings. Like those are our priorities in that order.
yeah.
How are we balancing them? So right now for me, finances is the thing, taking a step back because I'm not out traveling. I'm not doing the speaking events and stuff that I could be, but it's 100% because that's not where I wanna put the focus right now. Like, I wanna be at home, I wanna focus more on family. I want to focus more on fitness. And kinda going back to that, taking it full circle, that give and take of, some areas are going to have to come back a little bit in order for some areas to go forward. It may not always be that way, and again, like, that's okay.
Hmm.
Everything we're doing is making a deposit towards this future goal. Some deposits are going to be a little bigger than others right now. So when I think about the person that's saying like, man, I can't, I'm not taking every class at the gym. I missed a week of workouts or my nutrition's falling off. Okay, but what are you doing? You're going to all your kids' sporting events. You're there for every single thing that they do and they see you there. Yeah, your nutrition's maybe not the greatest because concession stands are the only thing you have access to 5 nights a week. And like, I'm not saying that as an excuse or a cop out. Like, there are things that we can do to work around that. But you also have to recognize like 15 years from now, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, what is your child going to remember? They're going to remember that mom or dad was there.
Hmm.
Right. And so these different seasons of life, they're all challenging, but they're all beautiful to be cliche in their own way, too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're talking about, those different places, and I'm thinking about this person that I was having a conversation with, and they're going to school and like a straight A student in school.
That's a lot. Just that.
It's in a master's program, I
Just
think.
man, just that.
Yeah.
That's
Like
so bad.
getting honors in school,
Oh my god.
right? Um, Working, 6 days a week, a full-time job, like 8 to 10 to 12 hours a day on top of going to school and being a straight A student and trying to get a promotion at the same time. So not just, committed to their normal schedule,
Mhm.
but also like
Above and beyond.
above and beyond. um, has kids that are involved in sports, and is there for all of it.
Mhm.
Doesn't miss a single thing. Practices, picking them up, dropping them off, making it to every game and session and match and whatever it is that they've got going on. Is losing weight and gaining muscle, or trying to,
Mhm.
making the attempt and trying to be consistent in the gym. And when I think about and then trying to maintain, married and trying to maintain a relationship, um, that is a lot to put on your plate. And if you're out there and you're doing those things, like, kudos to you. I just want you to know, like, how that's a lot of stress.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stress. And I'm not telling you don't go and try to
Right, like,
do all the
don't be
things.
ambitious.
Yeah, like,
Yeah,
I don't
be
want
ambitious.
to yeah, I don't want to say don't do the things. I just The whole point is that I want you to see that there are going to be things that don't come along as quickly as you hope that they would, because that is not the priority.
Mhm.
Right now, school is the priority in maintaining good grades, so that when I graduate, with high honors or whatever it is, I can take this back to the place that I work and be like, hey, look, here's where I'm at. This is the thing that I did. This is what you told me I needed to get this promotion, so that I can then get the freedom to be able to work a regular shift where I'm working Monday through Thursday from 8 to 4.
Which then once we're in that season, these other things are gonna be
Right.
able to,
Yeah.
take more of that front seat.
Yeah, now I don't have to worry about going to my kids' stuff, because I'm working a normal shift,
Oh,
and I can start to plan some things around, and I can make it to the gym, 5 times a week at that
now
point, because
I have more time to meal prep,
yeah,
and I'm not relying on the concession stand, like,
exactly.
it all goes together.
The seasons come in and out.
Yeah, and there's a big mindset shift that has to happen there too of it's not I think if we look at it as, "Oh, I'm mediocre in all these things," like, I know I'm guilty of this. My husband, he hears me say this a lot, like, I feel like I'm half-assing a bunch of things, and I just wanna full-ass one thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, I think it's important that we redefine what success looks like in these things, like, success in nutrition, just thinking from a health and fitness standpoint, success in nutrition doesn't mean you're hitting your macros perfectly every single day, and because it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable for somebody that's doing that full time and that all they're doing is tracking their food and logging their food and not working a job or being a parent or doing anything
Mhm.
else. It's not sustainable. You know, success in nutrition in this season of life might look like I'm going to hit my grams of protein and I'm going to eat 100 grams of veggies
Yeah.
and that's it.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to walk 10,000 steps a day.
Yeah. Yeah, or, it's I I think what you're getting at here is, like, what's, like, the low-hanging fruit
Yeah, what's
that I can grab a hold of that's
right.
gonna at least help me maintain where I'm
Mhm.
at right now?
Yeah, like, I think of so I have the big 3. I have a win the day list for myself every day, and it's the what are
Is
the
it on your
3
is, like, on your mirror?
No, it's on the homepage on my phone.
Oh, okay.
No, I don't write on the mirror. Not since high school.
Okay.
Since the Ladybogs era.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No, so it's like, what are the top 3 things or what are the 3 things that have to happen today in order for me to quote unquote "win the day,"
Yeah.
for it to be a successful day? The caveat with it is the 3 things have to be 3 things that I am in control of. They don't rely on anybody else or outcomes. It's based on what are the leading measures that I'm doing that produce these lag results.
Mhm.
So it's not gonna be things like, I'm gonna get that promotion, right? Or I'm going to sell X, Y, and Z because I can't
Yeah.
control what somebody else does.
Right.
But I can control what goes into that, right? So I'm going to
Control how many calls you make.
yeah, exactly. I'm gonna control how many calls I make, or I'm gonna control, I don't know, like how many ounces of meat I eat today.
Yeah.
Whatever that looks like.
Yeah.
But you just gotta boil it down to what is something that's sustainable, but like it doesn't have to be this big thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, small habits create big
Huge,
successes.
huge changes. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think something tangible here that you or me, we can all kind of take away from this is one, I think what you said about commitments versus goals. Man, that just like, I feel like I got punched in the face when you said that. I think that that is something that we can take away is instead of setting these small goals and getting close to my goal, but like, okay, what am I really committing myself to here? And then maybe looking at those 5 or 6 F's, faith, family, fitness, freedom, future, finances. I think I got them. And going, okay, which one of these things am I working on right now?
Yeah.
And if this is the thing that I'm working on, what are maybe 3 things that I can do each day that are within my control to move this thing
Mhm.
forward? But I would even take that with the other F's and look at each one of those and go and just do an assessment, like, where am I at today
Yeah.
in this thing? And what's one thing that I can do every day that's within my control to just hang on?
It's funny that you bring that up because one of my coaches said that to me. This was years ago. We had these worksheets and it was faith, family, fitness, finances. And our homework, quote unquote, was what's one thing that you can do to move the needle in each of these every day, write it down. And so it could be, okay, faith, I'm going to read my Bible for X amount of time. Family, I'm going to spend, 30 minutes talking to my kid, my husband, no phones, no
Mhm.
screens. Right? Fitness, walk, nutrition, whatever that look like. Finances could be, I'm gonna put $5 towards my credit card.
Mhm.
Um, but just what's that one little thing that we can do every day? And those, yeah, that compounds over time.
Yeah, and I think it's really important what you said about something that's within your control.
Mhm.
So if you draw that, we talked about this before too, like if you draw that little circle around yourself and understand that you're responsible for everyone standing inside of that circle,
Mhm.
what is the thing that that person can do
Mhm.
to move the needle in that thing so that you're not reliant on anyone else to help you make progress there.
Yeah.
Um, because it's easy for us, it's easy for us to make that excuse
Mhm.
and go, oh, well, Lindsay didn't cook dinner tonight, so I'm just going to make this frozen pizza.
Right. Or man, Clint's in a bad mood, so I'm just not gonna talk to him
Yeah.
tonight.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I mean, it's that simple
Yeah.
to start to play that blame game. Cool. What did we miss here? What did we forget to talk about?
I think just knowing that I think just to wrap it up, like, no one is perfect. You're not gonna be able to put 100% towards everything you do ever. Like, not everybody liked Jesus. And why do we think that we can do everything 100% and have everybody love us for everything that we do when, like, Jesus didn't do that? I don't know. I think about it kind of like that. Like, we got to take a step back and know that different seasons require different priorities and do what you can do.
Yeah, I think, you got to get there. You got to get to that place. I mean, I love so much that you use Jesus as the example. There was a time in my life where I wouldn't have
Didn't mean anything.
that wouldn't have crossed my mind.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have meant anything to me. But now it really does. And I think that a lot of that comes from like how I identify
Mhm.
and what it is that makes me me
Mhm.
and who I am versus what I am.
Mhm.
And I think that having my identity rooted in Christ makes it so much easier for me to see how perfect he was
Mhm.
and how imperfect I am.
Mhm.
And there's a level of peace that has come over me recently because of
Same.
that.
I've gotten a lot more comfortable with my shortcomings.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, take that from a different perspective. The people that you look up to and admire, that person that is getting their PhD, that person that just won the CrossFit games, and their health and fitness is elite, okay, look at that person, but now look at what other areas of their life that aren't getting that same
Mhm.
attention because I guarantee they're there.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, I mean, it's the one very personal example that I'll use, and she's probably gonna get mad at me, but I know that Lindsay. A lot of people look at my wife and like, oh, she's got it all together. Well, I mean, like, we're not perfect, yo. Like, we're normal humans. Physically, she's pretty dang healthy. Like, she's like the most regimented person in the world. Like, she is very, very committed to her health. She's gonna wake up in the morning at the same time every day. She's gonna come to the gym and exercise. She's gonna go home. She's gonna eat breakfast. She's gonna take a shower. Then she's gonna start her work day. And then in about 2 hours, she's gonna eat again. And then she's gonna go back to work. And then in about 2 hours, she's gonna eat again. And then she's gonna go back to work. And then that's gonna be most of her day until about 6 o'clock when her workday ends, and then she eats again.
Like how eating is a really big.
Yeah. And then
You have to fuel your body.
and then she's gonna go to bed,
Yeah.
and that that routine and that regimented part of her life is really, really beneficial for her health and her fitness and her wellness, physically. Now, there are some times when it gets really frustrating, and she knows this, but, like, there are some times when it gets really frustrating because, like, she's gonna go to bed at 6:45, 7 o'clock, like, period, that's happening, and there are times when I'm like, "Man, I just wish I wish that, like, she would just stay up
Mhm.
with me," but she's so
She's
the
in that season of life where she
Yeah.
has to go to bed early in order to have time to do the things that she's doing.
Exactly, yeah. So she has her, like, priorities in line,
Yeah.
and I don't wanna say that I'm not a priority for her because I know that I am, but right now, like, she's just really, really focused on her health and fitness. There have been times when health and fitness has not been
Mhm.
the super huge priority in her life, and, I think that it is important that a lot of the chicks in the gym understand that there are ebbs and flows, even with Lindsay and someone that I know a lot of the women in here
Mhm.
look up to. Like, man, there's give and take in her life too.
Mhm.
She from the outside, like, it looks all perfect and everything, but man, there's still stuff that we're dealing with, and that's okay.
Mhm.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
It's just it's part of it. It's part of life. But, I mean, having good, strong relationships with the people around you helps quite a bit.
Yes. Yes.
So maybe that's where you start, is with your faith and your relationships.
Yeah, I think it has to go in that order: faith, family, friends,
Yeah.
and then fitness, and then finances.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that, just like we were saying earlier, when you put your focus and emphasis on that faith, it's crazy how everything starts to just fall in line right behind that.
Yeah. And if you're somebody that is not a believer, or, you're thinking, okay, well, that doesn't apply to me. Well, no, it still does, because, I mean, number one, it applies to everybody. But okay, let's take the word faith out and let's replace it with, you've got to work on you. You've got to work between the ears first before you can tackle everything else.
Yeah, you'll find out a lot about yourself. And that's really important, is figuring out, who you are and what you're about and what is important to you. Um, you I think when you said not a believer, you meant not a Christian.
Yeah.
Um, and that's okay. Um, I wasn't either, really. I mean, I would have said that I was, but I really wasn't. Um, when I kind of started down that path
Hmm.
of working on the stuff between the ears,
Hmm.
and this is just where it led me.
Hmm.
Um, I don't think it led me there. This is where I was called into. Um, but it is really important, I think, to start there.
Hmm.
So if that we're running up on the end of time here,
Oh, yeah.
but if that is the place that you would start, is between the ears, how would you start that? What would be your advice?
Ooh. Oh, man. I think, man, my gut response is find somebody to talk to, because you're not meant to do it alone. And mindset work, is really hard to do when you're the only one, like, because if you're not in the right mindset, like, you're just it's like taking a bath in dirty water. Like, it's not gonna work.
Yeah, yeah,
So, find a coach.
yeah,
I mean, both of us are equipped to help with that. I mean, just find somebody.
yeah.
I think that I think big soft talk there,
Mhm.
but I think that's where I would start.
Yeah, and I agree. Finding someone to help you out down that path is really important. Um, but I would say read Romans.
Mm,
Start in Romans.
yeah.
Um, I think that Paul can be that friend that you might be looking
Mhm.
for. The things that he wrote in there. That I mean, and the big reason why I'm saying that is because that's what got me.
Mhm.
That is where the big change started happening for me was even though I had coaches and all of these people around me and I'd been working on the things between the ears, like just from a spiritual standpoint,
Yeah.
I was unstable.
Yeah.
I was unhealthy in that spiritual life. And when I read Romans, I was like, whoa, okay. Okay, now I
Mhm.
know the direction that I need to go. And Paul just walked me right through it.
Mhm.
So I would say do what Molly says, but also read Romans. That's the advice that I would.
Do what Matt says
Yeah.
and also find a coach. There you go.
Yeah, that's it. Cool.
All right. Awesome.
Awesome. Good job.